this session. So Mulesoft will have the duration 45 days. So mostly will cover 45 days. I mean, so you can assume 45 hours or 45 days. This is more enough. So if in case it will take some time, I mean, we are not taking a regular process. So in that case, mostly 50 days. So in 50 days will complete this session. Okay. So in this session, so we'll discuss what exactly the Mulesoft is, why we are entering into the Mulesoft. Okay. And what exactly the Mulesoft is. Okay. So the development related and how we are deploying the application. So why we are using the Mulesoft integration mode. Okay. So all these things we'll discuss. Okay. So this is the course content is we have. Okay. So already I prepared. Okay. So before going to the course content, so what prerequisites is required. Okay. So all these things I prepared. So just I will go through a little bit. Okay. So here you can see first whenever I will start this session. So definitely we'll go the prerequisites because everyone is in different background, right? So in that background, these people can learn this Mulesoft or not, they are fit or not. Okay, so that we'll discuss. So once that is done, so we have a anyway the Mulesoft is integration, right? So what are the exactly the integration concept we'll discuss. Okay, so in this integration world, so how the Mulesoft is entered. So where we are using the Mulesoft, that we'll discuss. Okay, this is integration concept. I will discuss so what exactly that integration, what EAB, EAI, and ESB, all these things. Okay, so then we'll discuss about the Mulesoft. So what exactly the Mulesoft is. Okay, so the introduction to Mulesoft we'll discuss. And once this is done, to develop the Mulesoft required tools. Okay, so definitely every tool or every language to develop the application, we require some tools. Same thing we have in the Mulesoft. So we have a studio, Anypan Studio to develop the Mule. And also we required Java related versions. And if you are using Maven projects, so definitely we will use Maven. So once the development is done, we will test the application. For that, we required Postman and SOAP-UI, any one of these. Okay. So in the Mulesoft, so the Mulesoft is provided their own cloud. I mean, they are connected with the Amazon. So the endpoint platform we have, so there we can able to deploy our application, manage our applications. Okay, these tools required to develop a Mulesoft that we will discuss in detail. So here, Anypan platform, yes. So in Anypan platform, what exactly the topics? Why we are using? Okay, so which scenario will use that Anypan platform? Only the deployment or any other thing. So that we will discuss each and every topic. So to design the API, so we'll use and to publish the API, so we'll use Anypan Exchange. To create a API, we'll use API manager. To check the logs and maintain the logs, all these things we'll use runtime managers. To give the access permission to different users, we'll use access managers. Monitoring related. So all these things we'll discuss in detail whenever we are talking about the endpoint platform. Okay, so once that is done, endpoint platform. So we'll discuss about the Mulesoft lifecycle. So what exactly the Mulesoft is lifecycle. So how we will go through that lifecycle. What are the phases we have in the lifecycle that we'll discuss. So once this is done, we have one of the best advantage and the best solution for this Mule 4. We have a API-led connectivity architecture. So this is very important. So how the API, the Mulesoft is implementing in the real time. So that we will follow how what are the phases we have. API-led connectivity. So this architecture we'll discuss in detail. So once this is done, then whatever we are discussing the API related, okay, once you created a API, before creating a API, how you will process? Means we have a API, right? So that API, how you will design? Okay, so these are the basic and I can say, so before going to the development, we required this prerequisite, I can say. We required some of the inputs for this. Okay. So from here onwards, we'll start the development. This is main important. So how you will design a API. So in that all concept we'll discuss each and every concepts. For designing the API, which type of language we are using, which type of methods we are using. So all these things we'll discuss and we'll implement the API. Then we will publish to the exchange. So I will discuss exactly the life cycle of the Mulesoft life cycle, how we are following. Same thing, I will continue the development phase. So once the designing completed, will start the development. To develop which type of tools we require, already we discussed, that is Anypine Studio. So what exactly the Anypine Studio, that we will discuss all these things. Then inside Anypine Studio, we'll start developing the API. So till now, here we are designing API. Once API designed, we'll start developing for that particular API. Okay, so this is very, very big topic. Okay, this is a very important time. This is the main concept to develop the API. So we have so many topics we have here. Okay, all will discuss. Once this is done, development is completed, we'll deploy the application and manage the application. Okay, so if you see in the Mulesoft documentation also, we have topics you can see different way, but yeah, we will cover everything. So whatever we have in the official documentation, if we are missing anything, that I will cover while continuing our class. So this is oral. We will plan to complete our session. So for this session, it will take 45 days. 45 hours, you can say. Okay, so in this, we are not going to cover the certification, because so the certification is different. So we can individually, you can go and register and do the practices and give an exam. So this is only the training. So we are giving. Okay, so this is overall content we are going to discuss in this Mulesoft training. Okay, any other questions before entering into
content? So like on hands-on, so what are the integration topics you are going to cover? Like end-to-end integration, designing the end-to-end integration, like using different adapters.
Yeah, so integration, I can say, so I will explain integration. One is database integration. Okay, how we will connect the database, that I will explain. Okay, one of the integration, and another one we have, I will explain Salesforce integration. Okay, so I will explain AWS integration. So these three I will explain integration level. Okay, so apart from this, we have different connectors. FTP connector, SFTP connector. Okay, that also I will explain, but more we can say Salesforce and AWS integration and database integration I will explain. These three integrations here. Okay, so yeah, we'll start from starting. Okay, so what exactly the prerequisites is required? So who can learn the Mulesoft? Okay, is it easy or tough? Something different. Okay, so that we will discuss. We'll start this. Okay, so this is, so just we can assume. So this is prerequisites. For example, whoever were coming, the beginners, they don't know any IT experience, they don't have any IT experience, they don't know any other languages. So, so they can also learn this Mulesoft, because so this is not required to learn some other, it is not dependent other language like some integration related language. But so yes, if you know Java or some other Java, if you know Java, that is added advantage for this integration tool. Okay, but this is not required. Java and Python .NET is required, not required. Okay, without that also you can learn the Mulesoft. So beginners can learn. If you don't know any other language, they are also can learn. If you are different background, I mean, some testers, some networking related, so they can also learn the Mulesoft. Okay, so already, yeah. So so this is the prerequisites. Okay, so anyone, I mean, this is not a difficulty, the Mulesoft. So we have only the difficulty little bit in transformation, data view language we have. So there, apart from that, we don't have that much. So only configuration and how you are understanding the business. Okay, that if you know, so we can you learn the Mulesoft. Okay, so yeah, so we'll start what exactly the integration is before going to Mulesoft. Okay, that I will discuss. So before going to that integration, so we have in the starting in olden days, we have a enterprise application integration. Okay, so if you see here, just assume this is a banking olden days, how we are using to withdraw amount and deposit amount and open a new account. So all these things, we have a one branch. So we need to go there and do all these processes, right? So here we have a server. So whatever data we have, I mean, that data will get it from the server, bank, main bank, right? So like this, in starting days we used. So we don't have any different channels. Okay, so everyone is going here and doing their operations like checking a balance, getting amount, some all these things. But so the crowd is very high in this bank. Okay, so they thought, okay, so why we cannot do in different channels? Okay, so then they started new type of banking. Like if you see here in the screen, so we have one is branch, one is ATM, one is internet banking, and another one is service, telephony service, and mobile banking. So they started improving the banking system. So now what you can observe, the people who are coming to the branches, that is reduced. So if you want to check a balance inquiry, no need to go for branch. You can check anywhere, different channels, right? So this is fine. So from one step to another step, we created a different channels. That is fine. So if you think development wise, okay, so this is fine. So people are doing, if you want internet banking, so you are doing from there. If you have a mobile banking, you are checking the balance, all these things from your own. So if you see the development point of view, so we have a different APIs to connect to the different channels. For example, this bank want to get the balance inquiry, definitely they will send a request to the server and get the balance details. So here also say some other person doing same thing, balance inquiry. Here also doing. So everywhere they are doing same work. So we need to create 5 APIs, balance inquiry APIs, right? So if you are creating a balance inquiry APIs, so the functionality is same for all the APIs. It is duplicate concept. Can you go on, please? So we are creating a different APIs. For example, here you can see, so we have a core banking system. So these persons want to check a balance inquiry. Okay. So what they are doing, they are sending and getting the data. But development point of view, so it is a redundancy. Okay. So in case if they are doing a development, it is a high cost. And also service is very high because so everyone is using balance inquiry, that too each one using individual their own. Okay. So here we have a disadvantage. Based on cost wise, it is a high. Based on developers wise, we require more people to develop the APIs because we have a 5 APIs. And also if you want to maintain this is also a very high cost. To reduce this situation, to reduce this problem, they came into the picture EI concept. So here you can see they are connecting to the EI, they are not connecting to the directly server. So server also reducing the time. I mean, they are not giving every request to the server. Only once they are sending a request, they are getting a required data into EI concepts. So here they are sending data to the different channels. Okay. So here you can observe in between server and channels, we have a EI concept. This EI concept is came in the integrating between two applications. So here we can call it as this is a source system. So whatever we have the channels, right? These channels source, this is target, vice versa. In case this system wants some data, this is source system, this is target system. So in this integration world, we will call the terminology source system and target system, consumer and producer. Okay, this terminology will use because inside in middle we are using AI concept, enterprise application integration. This we are using not only the Mulesoft, we are using in Java web service, .NET web service. So everywhere we are using same concepts like this. Okay, so this AI concept, this AI, how they are enter into Mulesoft. Yeah, this is fine. So we are using AI. Okay, so how they are using AI? So what they did, and also this development only can see the developers, architects, business users. So whatever they are using different channels don't know how we are getting the data, in which system we are connecting. Okay, so this we can assume only the developers AI concept. This AI same concept, the Java created enterprise service bus. Okay, so actually the Mulesoft is based on the Java core level. Okay, they are using Java. Same enterprise service bus created in the ESB EI concept. Okay, so if you see this diagram, same thing, we have a enterprise service bus. This is the enterprise service bus. So what they are doing, this enterprise service bus, whatever request you are getting, they are doing a transformer and sending the data. Okay, this main concept they are using. So we have so many, but yeah, this is the main concept. So if you observe in this diagram, for example, we have an hospital. So what we'll do, we'll go for appointment. Once we'll get appointment, we'll go for checking the doctor. Okay, so the doctor, what he will give based on our problem, they will give a prescription. Okay, so maybe the doctor will give prescription as a text format, maybe some paper format, or in this system, they will enter into as a normal Excel sheet like that. So whatever format. Okay. So once they are entering into this application, this prescription will go for pharmacy. Yes, right. So the person is going to pharmacy. The pharmacy application is expecting XML only. But here what you are doing, you are sending some Excel or text. Okay. So, okay, for one person, maybe, oh, pharmacy person is required XML. I will change XML related and I will send. Oh, billing application is required CSV format. I will see and I will change CSV and I will send. But for one person, the doctor application is doing is fine. If 100 people coming in one day, the application will not take care of all these things, right? Instead of checking the patient, we need to convert the logic, convert the format and all these things. That is big work. So the doctor, this application, no, I don't want to take care of all these things. Someone will take care. Just I will give a details and I will send. So someone who is someone, so the ESB came into the picture. So what they are saying, whatever format you are using, that you can send. I will take care of that format, whatever the target application is required, which format is required, that I will convert and I will send it. So all these things, format logic will take care of this enterprise service bus. If you want text, yes, it will convert and it will send. But you are getting as a text format. Here we will do text to JSON format. So all these things, transformation logic, we'll do in the enterprise service bus. Same this enterprise service bus, whatever we have, same concept we are using in the Mulesoft. Okay, so inside Mulesoft, we are using ESB. Inside Mulesoft, we are using ESB. So that's why the Mulesoft product is developed by Java. So if you are creating a different connectors, means the connectors built with Java only. So if you want to create your custom connector, so you need to develop with Java. So if you know Java, so that is added advantage. So every time we will not create a connectors. So already we will have that we will use most of the times, 95%. So very rare case we'll create a custom connectors. So in that situation, we require Java. Okay. So here, so we are implementing ESB concept in the Mulesoft. So the Mulesoft will connect with different systems. So for example, this person want store their data into some other database. So what they will do, they will communicate with the Mulesoft. So Mulesoft will take care. So which type of format and which security is required, they will provide. So all these things Mulesoft will take care and will send the data here. It will store data. In case if they want data, I want fetch the data. Okay, they will send some data here. Based on that, Mulesoft will fetch and it will send back to the source system. Okay, so like that, so it is started the Mulesoft. So in integration world, the Mulesoft they are using to connect with the different systems, not only particular systems. So we have cloud related, okay, apps related, all these things, it is connecting with the one system to another system. Okay, so this is the, because so this Mulesoft is called as a middleware or integration tool. Okay, so yeah, so this is related to integration, how we are entering into integration world as a Mulesoft. Okay, Any doubt till here? Integration related concept.
So what are the competitive competitive product for Mulesoft?
Competitive as of now, I can say the Mulesoft is one of the top one. Okay, so we have some competitive we have like Delbumi is there. Okay, Delbumi also they are using integration. Okay,
Okay.
so some other tools we have, but the difference is why this is most popular. That will that will discuss. Okay, what exactly the Mulesoft, why we are using this Mulesoft. Okay, so comparing with the other tools. Okay, that we'll discuss in separate. Okay. Yeah, Delboom also we have another competitor, but not that much. They are using their own style, but that is also that integration related. This is integration related. Okay, so and also before going to the Mulesoft, we should know some of the concepts. So we are talking about to connect with the system to the system. We required APIs, right? Having a Mulesoft application means definitely we should implement API. Okay, so yeah, what is an API? So the abbreviation is API stands for Application Programming Interface to connecting with the different systems. So it API allows to communicate or exchange data between two systems. So if you are communicating with one system to another system, the API is required, because if you observe here, this is one system, this is another system. To communicating with the different systems, we required API. That API we are implementing in the Mulesoft. Okay, so here we have a client and server. So already we discussed, right? So we have a producer and consumer, or we have a source system and target system. All these things, same terminology only. Don't confuse. Okay, client and server also same. So we have a client and server. They are sending a request. So in such server, so we'll get a response. To do this operation, we require API. Okay, so normal term. Okay, so just we can say what is an API. So if you observe this diagram, what you are assuming. So hope we have a restaurant. So here you can see the first diagram, request from client. For example, this person, whoever coming to eat, that person as a client. So we have a waiter. So the waiter will come and he will take all the details, what client is required. Okay, he will note it. And once this is done, we will go and do the process based on their requirement. Okay, once this is done, this is prepared, then they will give that prepared food to the server or this person, you can assume. Response from server. So here you can see this person given some input. Based on that, they did process and they will give final product to the server. So here, this client don't know how to prepare the food, but he know what he want. So who will take care of all these things to communicate to the process and do all these things? We have a waiter between these persons. So the waiter is called as a API, because this person is mediator between two persons. So we have a requirement, I want this, but I don't know how to prepare the food. So the waiter will take care of all these things. API will take care of all these things. Middleware will take care of all these things. Mulesoft will take care of all these things. That's why the Mulesoft it is came into the picture. Okay, so just basic concepts. So we have a API. Okay, so in detail we have so many. Then also we have a web service related. Okay, so API is there, and also we have a web services. Okay, so here you can see, just I will go quick introduction about all these things. Okay, I'm not going in depth because our motto is Mulesoft. Before going to that, just I'm giving some plans. Okay, what is web service? A web service is a way for two missions to communicate with each other over a network. Yes, API also doing same thing, right? To communicate with the two systems. So web service also doing same thing. But here you can observe over a network. Okay. So just remember, whenever you are using a web service to communicate between two systems through over a network. Okay. So a web service running on a computer listens for requests from other computers. So if one web service is running on system, that will listen from other system. When a request from another computer is received over a network, if we don't have a network, so we cannot communicate with that system. So here in the web service, definitely we require network. Okay, so without network, we cannot do anything. Okay, so so that's why the API is different, web service is different. Okay, so here you can see just both. So what API versus web services? So here you can see API and web services are not mutual exclusive. So both are not same. Web service is different, API is different. But both are doing same concept. Means to communicating with the two systems, exchanging the data. API is doing same thing, web service is doing same thing. Okay. Every web service is an API. For example, you are implementing one web service, means you are using API. But not every API is a web service. For example, you are creating a API. Is this web service? No, maybe may not be. Okay, but in every web service is an API, but not every API is a web service. This is very, very important because API will not run over a network. Web service will run over a network. Okay, so APIs are evolution of web services as both purpose is information transfer. Yeah, right. API and web service both are doing same thing only, transforming the data. Okay, but we have some differences between API and web service. Okay, so and yes, web service we have a API. Okay, so based on that, it is came into the picture SOAP versus REST services. We have a SOAP based web service, we have a REST based web services. Okay, so what exactly the SOAP based, what exactly the REST based? Okay, SOAP API is largely based on HTTP and XML. So if you know the SOAP based, okay, so whenever you are using large applications, whenever you are using complexity enterprise application, and also this is old we can say very old concept. So we are using, but nowadays still we are using, but very rare. Okay, and also so request and response are in XML only. So whenever you are using based web service, definitely you should know XML format. Without that, you cannot. That too, source system, target system, both systems should know XML. Otherwise, we cannot go for based web service. Okay. So to communicate between source system and target system, we have a WSDL, web service description language. So the provider will send to the consumer this particular file. So based on this file, they will create a API and will get the data. And so based, it is very complex to understand. Why complex to understand? Because if the person don't know the XML and the person don't want to XML format, in that case, we cannot do anything. And also to learn the XML, yes, this is very, very complex because we have a one of XSDs. Okay. So all these things we have. Okay. And also if you are using heavy application, so in that case, you can go for SOAP based web service. That is SOAP. So compared with the SOAP REST, so nowadays we are using very, very frequently, and every application they are using to communicate with between two systems. First, they are going RESTful web service. Okay, because why? Because this is very popular. So in the RESTful, what they are doing? So they are sending data multiple channels. I mean multiple ways like HTTP, JSON, URL, and XML format. Here only HTTP, XML we are sending. Here we have a more. And also request response is anything. So if you want to communicate between two systems, you can send any data, any format data. I can manage and I will send any data. But here we don't have. Definitely you should send XML. Definitely you will get XML response only. That is fixed. So, but here we don't have like that. We have a different formats. Same thing to communicate between two systems. So here we have a digital, same thing we have a RAML. RESTful API modeling language we have. So in the Mulesoft, to design the API, we'll use this RAML concept. Okay, so that we'll discuss more and more, and it is a user friendly. So in the Mulesoft, we are using RESTful based web service. Most of the times, I mean, nowadays, most of the projects, 90% they are using REST. Very rare cases, they are using SOAP based web services. Okay, so in REST based, yes, so we'll discuss what RAML and all these things. Okay, so then if you go to a in detail API, so what exactly the API, all these things, we have a methods. Okay, so this is standard for across all the languages, not only the Mulesoft. Whoever using API, definitely we can say these standard methods we should use. Okay, so these methods is get method and post method, put method, patch method, delete methods. Okay, so this where we will use, we have a designing API, we'll use in the RAML all these methods. Okay, so what exactly the get method? So if you want get some data from the server, get some data from some other system, retrieve data. So in that case, you can go for get method. If you are registering one person details and you are storing into database, in that case, you can go for post method. Already the person details is there. I want to change some modifications. Then you can go for put method. Okay, this will discuss detail, but yeah, as of now, just I'm going overview. Okay, patch method. If you are doing some additional modifications, already it is there. Patch, right? So patch means, so we are using some additional. So in that case, you can go for patch method. If you want to delete particular resource already there in the database, then you can go for delete method. Okay, so this is related to HTTP methods, not only in the Mulesoft, across all the API integration world, we are using same concepts. So that we are using the Mulesoft. Okay, till here, all these things we have the Mulesoft related. I mean, before going to the Mulesoft, so what exactly we have? Why we are came into the picture? Inside what I mean APIs we are using, why we are using that API concepts. Okay.